Thanks to the support as a channel member, Kyle Bykirch. Well, our transfer window ended up so good that I've got myself into a pickle and I now don't know what our best formation is. I don't know what our best team is. We're trying to figure it out, but it might end up derailing the early part of the season, which, as you can see, has started pretty well. Getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Spurs aside, we are doing all right. We drew against Brentford, we drew against Manchester United, but in the Premier League, we are sat there fourth in the league after 5 games, only 2 points off top of the table Liverpool, which is a jolly nice position to be in. We laboured a little bit to get through the Conference League qualifying round. I mean, we did put the reserves out against Al-Tak, and Harvey Higgins got 2 goals in that game, which was very nice to see. We're now into the group stage of that, which is the first game we're going to see today. But what you will also see if we look at some of the formations we've played in these previous games, I'm kind of flitting back and forth between the 2 systems that we've got now. So against Man United away, we did the 1 striker with Rob Harley, but against Fulham, we did 2 strikers, Elazzi and Harley together. Against Spurs, that doesn't seem right. I forget what we did against Spurs. I think it was, I mean, looking at that, it appears to be no strikers, but I think that's just gone a bit weird. Against Arsenal, we did 1 striker and won that game. So yeah, I'm not really sure what our best system is. I think we're going to go with 2. We'll probably go with 1. I'm still leaning towards this being my thing, I think. I think this is our main tactic, and we switch to the 4-2-4 when the time is right, I think. But as you can see, this version currently not including our captain, Rob Harley, who is going to be starting from down on the bench because both McRobbie and Elazzi have started the season better than him. McRobbie has had a fantastic start to the season. He's got, in all competitions, 2 goals, 4 assists in 7 matches. So definitely weighing in with some goal contributions. And I'm now really regretting loaning him out last season because it's what's cost him homegrown at club status, because he's the same age as Harley, signed at the same time as Harley. But that loan stopped him becoming homegrown at club, which is annoying because it would be really handy if he was homegrown at club for these European squads. But Elazzi hasn't had as much of an opportunity as Harley, but has started a game in which he scored. He's got an assist. He's got a man of the match. So he's going to start up front today because we are able to experiment a little bit with it being Europe. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm not entirely sure what the best thing to do is. We also did have the transfer window closing on us, which has led to Angeli being unhappy. We turned down a £75 million offer from Barcelona for him, had the conversation with him to say, you've got a release clause at 82 million. I think it's 82 million. If they want you, they'll pay the release clause. They did not pay the release clause, so he's got a grumpy on. But while that was going on, we did preemptively bring in a guy who could cover for him if they'd have come in and done the release clause on deadline day, because you can never be too careful in these situations. So we did bring in an extra defender that we probably didn't need, Jan-Luca Riedel. He's a centre-back mainly, but also accomplished at right-back. We wanted to bring him in so that if we lose Angeli, he can play at right back, but if we don't, he can offer some competition at centre back as well. So he's only in on loan. I think his loan does become permanent at the end of the season. Past Kev, what did you do here? Future transfers. Let's oh, maybe not. I thought he was permanent at the end of the season. Either way, it was more of a precaution bringing him in, and hopefully we don't end up getting a grumpy boy as a result of us, or a grumpy boy that impacts us as a result of not letting him leave. But we are playing in Europe, which means we get to rotate a little bit and look at some of the fringe players. So I did want to show you this. I also wanted to show you Mr. Tickle's European debut, probably the only European match Mr. Tickle will ever play. I also wanted to show you this because a few of you still doubting if I'm being weird or not when I call him Mr. Tickle. I saw this in a bookshop when I was in Manchester at the weekend. That's a Mr. Men, Mr. Tickle book. That's who Mr. Tickle is. That's what we've been talking about all this time. So, yeah, Mr. Tickle is going to play. We've then got a back four of Hincapie, Fimbres, Roivers and Baker Whiting at right back rather than his usual left back. Landu and Vujicic in midfield. McRobbie, Koklov and McAdams then behind Elazzi up front as we, like I say, try a few different things. Did that just automatically give Fimbres the captain's armband. I'm not sure that that's the right thing to do in this situation. He's played like 4 games for us, although to be fair, I mean, you give it to Mr. Tickle or you give it to Hincapié because he's experienced. Or, I mean, there's not a lot. There's a lot of players who've arrived in the last year. I mean, the only one who's been here more than a season and a bit, McRobbie or Tickle. So, yeah, I guess we didn't have much of an option. But, yeah, let's see how we get on in Europe. Like I say, we struggled a little bit to get through the qualifying round, but now we're into the league stage of the Conference League. As a team that have got aspirations of getting into the Champions League either this season or next, I mean, ideally this season, I would like to push on and get into Champions League, but we should be winning the Conference League this season. I mean, Jude McRobbie, there you go, 30 seconds in, kind of making my point for me. But we should be rattling through this league stage and going on and comfortably winning the entire competition. There's not really any excuse. As an English team in the Conference League, there's not really any excuse for not winning it. If West Ham can win it, anyone can win it. So we've got to win it. I think that's basically the situation we find ourselves in. And with 8 minutes gone, we've got another opportunity here through McAdams, who's not had much of an opportunity yet, but he's hit the crossbar there from his free kick. So he's... I mean, it's a good chance for someone like him, someone like Ilatsi, someone like Koklov, who started the season injured and is in danger of losing his place and potentially having the entire tactic changed into a system that doesn't accommodate him at all. He can't play as part of the double pivot. He can't play out wide. He can't play up front. If we switch to a 2-striker system, Koklov isn't going to play. So he needs a big performance in a game like this to remind me why I want to play not just him, but a player like him at the expense of realistically, it's either Ilatsi, Harley or McRobbie. One of them three's got to miss out to accommodate a number 10. And at the moment, I don't know if Carstens, who's been doing it while Koklov is injured, I don't know that I do know he hasn't performed as well as either of the other 3. So based on what he's offering in that attacking midfield position, logically, you switch to a 4-2-4, but now Koklov's fit again. Is he good enough in his own right? Because remember, he's come in, a wonder kid of his own. He's got higher potential than Harley. He could and arguably should go on to become the best player at the club. So he needs to, he's had a full season to settle in. He became a really important player as last season went on. Now it's the time for him to grab a hold of a match like this and say, yeah, you know what? You need me in this team. You need a tactic built around me. You need me. And doing a 6.6 after half an hour is not the way to do that. So it's an opportunity for him to grab, and it's an opportunity he's not grabbing at the moment. Same goes to McAdams. Same goes to Ilatsi, really. None of the 3 of them who you would think would be fighting for a spot performing particularly well. The guy who's already pretty much got a nailed-on spot because he's been playing so well this season is the one who scored. Football Manager's a strange thing, isn't it? McRobbie with the cross looking for Landu, doesn't find him. It comes back to Koklov, who gives it to Ilatsi. I don't know why Ilatsi was so deep, but there's Koklov again, and Koklov again. Finally, McAdams gets it. Baker Whiting from range, and now he's scored. I mean, I think that might be his first ever goal for us. I don't ever remember him scoring previously. Clearly, just wanted to be a right back all along. He was never a left back. I mean, he's been a right-footed left back. And then ironically, we play him at right back and he scores off of his left. What a complicated man he is. But this is the kind of performance I was kind of expecting, kind of hoping for in a game like this. I don't know what other teams are likely to be knocking around in this Conference League. If there's anybody, Borussia Dortmund would probably fancy themselves with an opportunity to win it as well, but there's not going to be many. There's not going to be much competition, is what I'm getting at. We should at least comfortably run through to the semi-finals, and from there, depending on how the draw goes, it's realistically only Dortmund I think we need to worry about in the entire competition. Girona maybe, they were in there somewhere, but yeah, Girona are there. I've lost them again. Aside from those 2, there just really isn't very much else at all, is there? And while I'm talking about how much better than everybody we are, we have conceded a goal. Poor old Mr. Tickle. He'll retire without a European clean sheet. Very sad. Because I can't imagine he'll... I mean, I say I can't imagine he'll play again. He might, actually, because he's one of only 2 goalkeepers we've got registered for the Conference League. Because we had, despite having multiple good homegrown at club players, we had a little bit of a homegrown in nation problem. So we've got Higgins, Tyjon and Harley all as homegrown at club. But we only have another 3, I think, homegrown in nation. So we had to have Mr. Tickle in as the backup keeper because he's homegrown in nation. And Fernandez, our actual second choice goalkeeper, is not. And we couldn't get him at the squad. We'd have had to have dropped somebody else out because of that guy we signed as the cover for Angeli, realistically. He's the extra body who messed up my careful squad building that I'd done over the summer. But it does highlight that we either need to sign some 18-year-olds, which we have done a little bit of, so they'll become homegrown at club, or maybe just focusing a little bit on 1 or 2 homegrown in nation players. I tell you what, Jude McRobbie, there were people writing him off. So far this season, he's been the most effective of the Wigan boys. And he is performing very well in this inside forward role on the left-hand side. He's really a right winger, a right-footed right winger who we've always played on the right in the past, but he's thriving as the inside forward. He is loving life out on the left-hand side. And he's on a hat-trick at the moment, and now we've got a corner. It's going to be a Lazio to take. We've got big boys to throw forward. Fimbres is one of them. He's not that big. He's only like 6'1". So, if anything, a small man. Because everyone knows 6'2", average height. Anything below it, small. Anything above it, tall. That's just the way it works. But let's make a few changes now. Let's take McAdams off. We'll bring on Evans for him. I think we're going to take off Koklov, bring on Harley and go with 2 up front. So we'll switch to that system. Hold on. I think that's how it's supposed to be. It does mean taking McRobbie off of the inside forward role that he's been loving. But I want to give them 2 time playing together. Not really, I should probably bring on Higgins for Lazio because Lazio's not played well, but I want to give these 2 10 minutes. Just give them 10 minutes playing together. Roivers can have a rest because he's pretty much a nailed-on starter. He probably shouldn't have even played in this game. Castro's struggling for minutes. So we probably should have started Castro in this one. But we've made the substitution now. We've resolved the issue. And now Evans looking to get things going on the counter-attack with the 2 boys ahead of him. Baker Whiting into Vujicic over the top for Evans again. And now Evans, can he find the cross? Landu, he doesn't want to cross either. Neither does Castro. Harley drops deep though, lays it off to McRobbie, and there's his hat-trick. And that's what you get from Rob Harley playing a little bit deeper. That's what he's good at. Finding the little pockets of space, dropping a little bit deeper. He's just stepped back away from his man. 1 touch, turn, slots it to his little buddy. 4-1. Hat-trick for McRobbie. What a time to be alive. McRobbie now heads it in looking for Harley, trying to return the favour. Landu to Vujicic. This has been a good performance. I'm enjoying this with both versions of the tactic. So I still don't know which is best. That's where we started the episode. I still don't know at this point. Harley looks better in this role. But results suggest the team plays better in the other system. So are we trying to get the best out of Harley or the best out of the team? It's very complicated. Evans lays it off to Baker White. It's a heavy touch. He plays it back across to Hincapié. Now, Fimbres should not be shooting ever again. That was poor from him. Right. We're going to take off Lazio, bring on Higgins, who scored a couple of goals in the previous round. And then Landu can come off. And we want to give Carstens some time playing deep. Because we signed him specifically to play a little bit deeper, but then Koklov's injury has put him into that attacking midfield position, which is theoretically his natural position, but it's not where I want him long term. So any opportunity we get, we want to get him in games where it doesn't really matter, learning this position. So get him on for 10 minutes here. Higgins plays about looking for Carstens, who shoots and scores. And it's 5-1. And I've told you to play deep, you rascal. But, I mean, he hasn't done that at any point when he's been playing as the attacking midfielder. Play him deeper. I can spot a play. That's a lovely, lovely piece of body positioning. Lovely, lovely take from him. Lovely finish, lovely goal. And now Higgins is looking to take a long throw. Does he do that? Fimbres flicks it on to Evans. Evans pokes it across into the danger area. There's no one there to finish it off because the striker was out taking the throw in the first place. But it now comes all the way back to Hincapié. McRobbie flicks it on to Harley, who tries to be clever. I think he's trying to just kind of carefully nod it under the goalkeeper when he probably should have just taken it and walloped it. But we're 5-1 up. Harley's played well. He's got himself an assist. Let us let him have his fun and do his fancy little touches. In these circumstances only. If he needs to do it to feel satisfied as a human being, these are the times when he can do it. We don't want him doing it in the next game, because the next game, I think we're playing Liverpool? We're playing somebody good. Yeah, Liverpool. We don't want him doing any nonsense like that against Liverpool. Still no England call-up for Harley. Also no under-21s call-up. McRobbie and Palermo both being called up for the under-21s. But is Harley too old for the under-21s now? Nope. So he doesn't get an England call-up, but he also doesn't get an England under-21 call-up. Rob Harley, I don't know why he's just completely ignored internationally. It's very odd. Oh, Flynn Grimmer's been called up for Scotland. He came through our Blackburn youth system. We actually have one of our homegrown players who's quite good. We might have to give him a game next year when he comes back from Hull. Right, shuffling things back around to a more sensible starting 11 for the Liverpool game. Then Restes comes back in goal. Centre back four of Hincapié, Castro, Roivers and Angeli. Nielsen and Nzita in midfield. McRobbie keeps his spot on the left. Carstens is going to come back in at the attacking midfield because he scored in the last game. So I don't know what the best formation is. McAdams on the right, and then Harley can start up front because Elatsi also didn't play well. I need some players to grab a hold of these positions and force my hand. And at the moment, none of Carstens, Koklov, Elatsi, none of them are saying it has to be me. And to be fair, all of them are new signings who are bedding in, learning the language, all that kind of stuff. So we're quite happy to give them all time. They're all under 21 with no mastery of English whatsoever. So they all get time, and it's probably for the best that they're kind of being used sparingly early on. The last thing we want to do is what we had to do with Harley when he first came and just have to play him even when he's not playing well for months on end because Higgins was injured. So it's probably not a bad thing to be able to bring him in and out of the team. But it would be really nice if one or two of them... I'd much rather have the opposite problem where both Koklov and Elatsi are being brilliant. And I'm sat here thinking, well, do I drop Harley? What do I do? But at the moment, it's pretty easy to keep Harley in the team in whatever role we're using him in and try and fit everything else around him. We're losing, which is very upsetting. Oh, I forgot. We've got the Restes issue going on, haven't we? Where he's unhappy and playing like a sulky bear as a result. We've got both him and Angeli both sulking. We've not played, or Angeli's not played a game since he started his sulk. So if we've got both Restes and Angeli both sulking, we are potentially going to have a problem defensively. But as we discovered on stream last night, it seems like something in the latest patch has made set pieces work again. It's been a long drought of much sadness, but we scored quite a few corners on stream last night, and we just scored from a set piece. I mean, it was from the second phase of play off of a set piece, but it's still off of a set piece. It still counts. It's another assist for Jude McRobbie, who is just in sensational form. You want him in your FPL team. The ways the goals and assists he's delivering so far this season. And on that note, Football Manager features we would like to have. I know you're busy. FM28, FM29 maybe. You've got the Premier League licence now. make it so that viewers can do FPL based on our saves. There must be some way to do that. How cool would that be if it was like an integrated like streamer mode where you could set up it would be amazing. I'd love it. But I don't know. I don't know how long the Premier League license is for, but that would be a lovely integration between Premier League and Football Manager if they could make that work. But this probably isn't the forum to propose it, but I want to make sure it's out there as my idea for if and when they eventually do it. Right, Roivers. Back to Castro. And now Nzita, Nielsen, Harley's dropped deep, plays it out to McAdams, who we're still looking to get a good game out of. McAdams, I mean, he's done very well there. Plays it back to Nielsen, and it's an own goal. I mean, Nielsen's just stuck it into that danger area, and it's ended up being turned into the back of the net by the Liverpool defender. It all comes from Rob Harley dropping deep again, although to be fair, he has got up on the shoulder of that defender eventually, and then Nielsen just drives it in looking for Harley, and it just comes off somebody else, but it's pretty good. I mean, you can tell I love Rob Harley. I'm singing his praises. Statistically, worst player on the pitch for us today. And I'm basically crediting him for both goals. He wasn't even involved in the first one, but he certainly was in the second. I think he is going to have to come off in a minute, though. So Elazzi, I guess, is going to get 20 minutes. And once again, the conundrum of what's the best system? How do we get the best out of him? Rolls on. Elazzi comes on. McAdams is going to come off for Evans. And then Hincapié can come off for Baker Whiting, who can go back out to left back and like it after his goal scoring return at right back in the previous match. But it's now Liverpool with a corner. This is the problem. Corners also work for the computer now. But McRobbie has got a chance for a counter-attack. We had a lovely bit of latest patch lag there as well, but McRobbie plays it across looking for Evans, who's in space. Evans, I mean, he's delayed things there. In the end, he's done well to get the cross in. I don't know if he was waiting for Lazzi to make his run. I wasn't tracking exactly what he was doing, but it seemed like an opportunity to just keep the pace of the counter-attack going, and Evans took a touch he probably didn't need to take. Right, we're going to take off Nzita and bring on Landu. And then we haven't really got anyone to bring on for McRobbie. I think I mentioned it in the last episode. We're one winger light of where I'd want to be. We're going to bring on Fimbres, who was captain in the last game and then gets dropped for the next one. We've got 3 very good centre backs. We've got to use them all. I mean, it's the theme of the episode. We're hopefully going to have won both matches. I don't know what my best team is. I don't know what my best formation is. I don't know what my best players in most positions are. Who are my 2 best centre-backs? I don't know. Who's my best striker? No idea. Who's my best right winger? Don't know. Best midfield combination? It's going to be, if we figure it out early enough this season, we're going to have a lovely time. Restes has just made a great save. So hopefully his period of grumpiness has expired, because that was a very good save. And Angeli looks like he's not affected by his own grumpiness, because he's been the second best player in the team for us, despite having a grumpy on and wishing he was in Barcelona. Frankly, who'd rather live in Barcelona than Blackburn? It's madness. I've never been to Blackburn. I hear it's lovely. I have been to Barcelona. It's very nice, but I can't imagine it's better than Blackburn, surely. But we want a match. We're second in the league. Are we going to win the league this year? Wouldn't that be a thing? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.